Hello everyone, I'm Varun and I hope you all are doing very great and you all have learned very much into this series initiated by Azure Developer Community. And today is the final, most important day of this series as we are going to discuss about the advanced topics in Azure DevOps. And we have Rahul Ambhore sir with us, who is highly certified in Azure and highly experienced in terms of DevOps. So without any delay, I would like to invite Rahul sir for the session and spread the knowledge. So.
All right. Uh, so you can hear me, right? The audio is coming, the video is coming properly.
Yes, sir.
If someone
You're
can
audible.
please confirm.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Your audio and video is
So,
well.
okay, perfect. So let me quickly share a screen and then we'll go it from there. Okay. Present. uh, All right. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you all can see the screen as well. So good
Yes,
evening,
sir.
guys. This is Rahul Ambhore. I'm certified in Azure for last 8 years as a certified solution architect, and I'm also a Microsoft trainer on Azure for I think five years now. Apart from that, I've been involved into the multiple other certifications and learning journeys like security, data, and governance part of it. Overall, 13.5 years of experience in IT, and last 8 years it's been all Azure. So that's very quick about me. Just before jumping to the session, if you can just type in where are you from and then what's your branch, all sort of things, that will just help me to uh, understand who all are joining the session. Uh, while you're typing in, we'll just move, just keep chatting if there's any questions, and if you wanted to ask anything in at the end of the session, that is also fine. I may just turn off my video because of network latency. Just let me quickly do that. All right, I think this is better now. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to touch upon Azure DevOps. I think it has multiple other components also. What Not just the pipelines or repos, but we're gonna deep dive all the components of Azure DevOps. Why it is critical to use the Azure DevOps in these days, and how it helps. Apart from that, so theory, I think you are doing this session for last 7 days, and you might have grasped the overview of it, and so now we'll do a like 15-20 minutes of theory, and then we're gonna do a demo, hands-on demo. I think it will be more focused on Azure boards, how Azure boards it can help. It fits into the overall overall life cycle of the product development or application development. And then once we know what we are trying to do, as terms of feature, bugs, all those fixes, how CI/CD helps, advanced topics in CI/CD. What was older days, or how people used to use the CI/CD like 2 years back versus what are the new changes in this today's world. Along with um, Along with that, what are the security features available in Azure? Um, what are the security features available in Azure? How we can make the Azure DevOps platform more secure? How the authentication between the platforms really works? What really means by um, the service principles? How do we use it? Why do we use it, and where do we use it? So all those we are going to cover. What is different between DevOps, SRE, CloudOps, FinOps? I will quickly touch upon all those topics as well, to just to broaden your understanding about DevOps versus SRE. Many people most of the time get confused. What is DevOps and SRE or cloud ops, right? Sometimes the responsibilities of these roles overlaps. What is the key differentiator here? Yeah, the demo, and then at the end of it, we'll quickly touch upon if you wanted to go deep dive and do some certifications in DevOps, what is the path for it, and where are the resources, and how do we do it. And if you have any open questions around what is the job role, what is the day-to-day activities in life of Azure DevOps engineer, or who practices DevOps practices in cloud or in SRE, please raise it at the end of the session, and we'll quickly touch upon it as well. So that way you get a understanding. So now, starting with what is DevOps, how do we do the DevOps, what are the challenges, best practices in Azure DevOps, and then at the end, certifications, and then what we do, what the engineers in the big organization do in terms of their day-to-day activities. So that's the plan for session. Um, I know today is the final for IPL, right? And you might want to go soon. But let's assure that next 30-40 minutes, that whatever we are spending here, right? I'll try to add as much as value as possible from my end. Okay. So why DevOps, right? I think you are going to this sessions. So if you know, type in into the chart, and then we'll see. I'll quickly give my viewpoints. Why do we use DevOps and how it helps? So if you go back a decade back, right? You would see that the traditional DevOps, like what how the product development used to happen. Someone wanted to build the features or fix some bug in the systems. There would be a product or application team who would work in 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 silos, and then there would be a product team or product support team or production support team. They would again in a different they would work as a silos. So usually these guys don't know where my application is running, and application, and then the system engineers don't know what we are running, what application is running. If someone wanted to implement some change, um, uh, most of the times the people who are implementing the change really do not understand the in depth of the code and why this change is. Same thing used to happen. Whoever is building the or fixing the bugs, right? They had very limited understanding of systems, uh, where my code is running, and then used to happen the situations like code is running in dev, or code is running in my laptop but not running in dev and not working in production systems. So those situations used to come. So to solve these things at very high level, there are so many other things as well which helps, which is improvised by the DevOps practices. However, these are the key challenges. To speed up the development, ensure that collaboration is improved against the all the teams who are involved, application, production support, QA, security, and all sort of things. So now, to ensure that all these things are happening, we are using this DevOps life cycles. So if you see what is DevOps life cycles, or how the cycles of DevOps is really works. So usually, whenever there is a plan to migrate or build a new application or restructure the application or rehost the application, these are the three four terminologies that you would most of the time hear when you start um, uh, your career. Either you would be migrating the application from some older systems, or you are re-architecting the application, rehosting, or just doing a lift and shift, or building from the scratch. So initially you would have a plan what you need to do. Once you have a plan, um, you code it, and then the code get built by many other tools. If it is Java, then you would use Maven or something. If it is something else, you would have different build tools like Ant or some other tools, right? And then once the plan is there, the code is stabilized into the master or main branch, it will get built. Now as soon as it is built, it will again go through a QA process or test process. And once you have built right, you would tag it some version, and then you put it to the some artifact, and then you will start the releases of it. So the I would say that at a broader stage, it has two stages. One is the plan and build, and then there is a deploy and monitor. So as soon as you tested the your build, you start releasing it to the lower environment or test environment, and then when you satisfied with the results, you'll deploy, and then your QA team or your business users, right, they'll start logging into the platform, and then operate it at some level, and then they'll give feedback. What is it, what are the features of meeting, is it it is behaving as expected, or is there improvement, is there a bug, um, right? All sort of things will come into under the monitoring part of it. And then again the life cycle will continue. If there is a bug reported, if there's a new feature requested, it will go in a plan, code, build, and all those will keep continuing. So that's key thing. That's how it should work. And then the key thing that DevOps adds value to any projects is it would definitely add value in speeding up the development process, improving the security, improving the cycles of CI/CD. If you see, if you go back and say just a couple of years back, 5-7 years back, if you wanted to do a release, it used to take a week minimum in most of the companies. But nowadays, you do a releases multiple times in a day. Or if you take an example of some um, FANG companies, right? They would do like they would have multiple releases, like they have automated a whole process. If they found some bugs, and they know what is the bugs, right, they would have webhooks to fix that. And then as soon as the whatever the automated process they have to fix it, it will fix, push the code, someone will validate, or something some trigger would be there to just trigger the pipeline, and it will automatically deploy. So these are the few values that DevOps adds. Again, this is same steps. So as soon as you have code into the your GitHub or your repository, you'll ensure that all your lower environment is triggered. As soon as there is a alert, uh, or there is a push from the any branch to your master. It depends on what setting you do in your CI/CD, but usually if there is a code into your develop branch, and then CI/CD for development will trigger. It'll deploy the application. You'll start observing how it is behaving. You'll get some feedback, and then you again keep improving, working on those changes, and at the end, it will be a better experience for users or your business partners. So that's the flow. Um, in Azure DevOps, if you see, this is how the portal looks like when you do the dev.azure.com. Um, you would see on the top, um, after Azure DevOps, there is a organization name that you would see here. It is my name. I created it with my name, but you would be saying your organization name. So the hierarchy is it would be organization name, and then you can create multiple projects uh, inside that organization. So say you are working in finance, or you are working in HR, and then there is sales organization also, sales department. So ABC organization has 3 departments. So you would create a multiple projects for each teams. So that way segregation, uh, it can be confirmed. You will not have access to cross projects, as long as if you are part of the CCOE, or if you are part of the platform team, who is managing all these projects, then you would have some level of access to all the projects at organization level, just to ensure that if there is some issues, you'll be able to help them to fix it. So hierarchy is organization, and then multiple projects. So here in this, you are saying the PowerShell is one of the project that I have created. uh, you can create a multiple projects, uh, and then if you go inside any project, you would see dashboards, boards. uh, Dashboards is like simple overview. We're gonna see in action how it looks like and what really it means. Just before that, um, it has the boards is nothing but they say, so whatever the plan you are going to do, right? So you will capture all these actions there. Say you wanted to create a development environment, development platform. Say you want to create a case clusters, Azure functions, Azure storage, and all sort of the services. So you'll create a epic, or you and then you'll create a task under it. So the epic would be high level, creating a development environment, and then there will be multiple tasks to that epic, saying for development I need a VM, I need a storage, I need a AKS cluster, and so on, so forth, right? And then if there is any issues, saying there is a glitch in the network settings, or you're not able to connect to the VMs, so you will also report that under the issues, and all those will be tagged in the you'll be able to see the boards. So usually whenever there is stand up, uh, you will join the stand up, and the PM, whoever is PM, right, of that project, will review these things, how it is happening. So that's the key thing of boards. There are many other companies who also provide this kind of products. You might have heard about Atlas in Jira, right? I think this is one of the key tool many people use. It has ability to collaborate with many teams. You can tag someone saying that this fix has been implemented, test it. If you wanted to allow QA team to test it, or if you want some support, you can ask, I have done this. Can someone please review and support or guide? So all those things can be done on the boards as well. Repos again, exactly similar to the GitHub. um, uh, uh, yeah, Repositories. um, you can have a here you have a project, and then under the project you would have multiple branches, um, and you can host your code there. So it, it 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 is just similar to the GitHub repos. The key thing on Azure is these pipelines. It has multiple flavors of pipelines. We're gonna see in live what is release pipelines, how it is, and then why people are using YAML based pipelines. What is the benefit of it, and how, if you wanted to migrate it from release to YAML based pipeline, is it one click deploy, one click migrate, or does it require some more efforts? So that's are a couple of things that we're gonna see in the demo. And then the test plans again. Yeah, so there are multiple tools that you can integrate with this DevOps to test your code. SonarQube, um, Sysdig, and there are many other tools that you can yeah, add to your pipelines to validate your codes. At the last, this artifact, and there is one more feature has been released by Azure recently, security scan. I don't say that it live. That could be in preview as of now. That's the reason I do not see it under the dashboard. So And in artifact, if you want to preserve some artifact, some releases, you can do that. Usually there are people would use Azure artifact, or if there is a reason, uh, some reason, some say you don't want to host it on Azure for whatever reason, you can use your own repositories, JFrog or similar repositories that can be so that the code remains in your own organization network for compliance purpose, GDPR purpose, or many other regulatory purpose. Uh, that can be one of the use case. So moving forward, if you wanted to get your hands dirty or play around on DevOps, what are the things that you need to know? Very fundamental things. You need to understand how the Git works. Um, um, GitHub, CI/CD tools. These are the very fundamental things you should be knowing. Um, and infrastructure part. If you are a cloud native organization, or you are a cloud first organization, these are the few Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform. These are the few tools you need to aware about it. And that last monitoring, logging, application monitoring, logging tools. These are the few three four things that I think you need to know in order to jumpstart the your DevOps journey. So I think we already talked 10-15 minutes. Let's go and see these things in action. I'll be stopping my let me see. Okay, all right. All right, so if you see, can Varun, can you please confirm if you can see my DevOps board, or someone can confirm?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay, screen is visible, right? Okay, perfect. So if you see on the screen, I have a DevOps board open. Where is the if you go back to the organization level, you would see I have two projects created. One is PowerShell and one is Azure. So I can create one more as long as I need it. So that's going to be the hierarchy again. Organization and then multiple projects. So I'll go into the one of these projects. This is the board that I was talking earlier. If I go to the work items here, say I have this item created here. Say the this is Epic. So Epic is the again top level. Create an infrastructure as a code for development, and then I can tag that uh, to someone, and then the status of the epic, what is happening, and then if you wanted to add multiple items for specific environment, say in dev I need to create a VMs, I need to create a storage accounts, and all the thing all those things I can link this task to this IC issue. So your management, your PM, project manager will see where we stand on the specific at the very um, uh, high level, like for if you wanted to see give a status to management where we stand, you'll be able to see like we are like 80% there or 90% there. So if you go into the boards, you would see this in more granular level. So disk failure is one of the issues that I see, which is under the to-do list. What the team is doing. So if you wanted to see um, what the team is doing, what are the stuff that has been completed. If you want to go back and see the epics level, you can also change it from here. This is my one epic. What is the status of it? It is still in to-do list. Backlog, what is the backlog, if there is anything that we have to do, and at the sprint level you will be able to see under the first sprint, right? I have just created one sprint, where we stand, what are the tasks, what are the tasks assigned, who are working on all those things. And at least this is just to get everyone understanding, everyone on the same page, that where we all are working, what is the status of our team's development, and we do not work in silos. So that's the key thing of this board. and this can be easily linked to many other stuff. So if you wanted to create just a new item here, you can just create a new say issue or task. So let's say I'll create a um, one more epic here. It's a simple uh, infra for UAT, right? And say I have this ABC app, right? So I tag this to ABC app, and then you can set up the priority to 2, 3, 1, and then according to that, uh, it will come on the board to show where we stand. Okay, now if you go back to the work items, you would see this is here, and then they should be shish. So this is the two items for 2D to do in my to-do list. One is dev and one is UT. As you can simply drag and drop if you are working on it, you're doing it. If it is it's just uh, in your backlog, you can keep it here. So that's the high level boards, creating the tasks, epics, issues, and just keeping your team informed about where we stand, what are the issues. So anyone wanted to help you, they will be able to help you insert certain tasks and know the overall status of it. um, uh, Moving forward, here is the repositories. So you'll have so this is my projects, and under that I have this branch, and then under the branch I have multiple um, this is a branch, and then the multiple branches that as I need. Okay, so this is one of the pipeline. We're gonna see this in a demo just in a couple of minutes, why it is important to leverage the YAML based versus release pipeline. So now as we touch upon boards and then repositories, let's quickly do a quick demo about pipelines. So if you see this demo is about creating environment and then deleting environment. So usually you would have, say, you need you have application which is hosted on VMs, you need two VMs, a database, right? And then maybe some other integration tool, integration service, that could be Azure service or Kafka or whatever, uh, just to create the infrastructure in dev. And then okay, now we have tested our application, created the infrastructure, hosted your application, tested it. Now we are sure that this is working or not working. You'll end of the day you'll deploy it, you delete it, and then maybe next day um, you'll again deploy the same thing. So that way you're only paying for, say, working 8 hours and saving for 16 hours. um, that is okay in dev. And again, this pipeline as a code is helpful for DR situation also. So say you have issues in ECS2 of Azure region, you're deploying your application there. For whatever reason, uh, the Microsoft has some issues at that specific region. So there is a flood like situation or some other situation that caused the issues to be not available. So then what you do, you have all your code, all your infrastructure and application coded, right? So you can simply route these pipelines to some other location, whatever per your DR strategy. You deploy that into the central US, which is the PA region, right? So you need to do that little bit of maths there, like what is supported region and all sort of things, just as part of DR strategy, and you'll deploy it. So in couple of minutes, or maybe say within an hour, you'll be able to you will be up and running in the secondary, while Azure fixes their primary region. Okay, so let's do a quick view of it, what it is really doing. If I edit this, this is nothing but the simple templates, which is empty. Either you can keep it empty or you can have something. So it has two jobs. one is to dev environment infra create. If I drill down to this is nothing but the two commands. It is running the az group create, location where you wanted to create a groups, and the name of the group. Okay, uh, and then in another task I'm just deleting that to group as well. So this is how usually we used to do. uh, if you wanted to create this, I'll show you how do we create this release pipeline, and then I'll show you how we can I will run this one, in fact. So usually you'll just go ahead and create a new release pipelines. Yeah, so here in this situation, if you wanted to create a release pipeline, it is very easy and UI friendly. So if you are starting new on Azure, new on Azure DevOps, and kind of not very familiar with YAML, I would recommend just explore this release pipeline, but don't use it for longer term, because most of the people are migrating from release based pipeline to the YAML based pipeline, and there is a reason for it. I'll will talk about it, why we should use YAML versus release. But if you are just new and wanted to have the UI feel, you can certainly explore this release based pipeline. So say Azure CLI. Why it is not? Okay, so I added the empty task, and then if I go and then add some task here, so CLI is the one of the tasks that I need to add. Say what I need to do in a CLI as a first task. So I'll talk about this here. What is this resource manager's connection? So see, Azure DevOps as a one object, and there is a Azure platform. Again, that is another complete different objects. So these are the two objects or two entities or two um, different stuff. So consider, if I wanted to talk from Azure DevOps to Azure, I need some mediator or a service account, user account, or SPN, so that um, if I wanted to create a VM on Azure, or if I wanted to create a resource on Azure, I need to give identity, and that identity need to have a certain permission on Azure subscription for performing those tasks. So this Azure Resource Manager connection is nothing but the account, service account, non-human account, which has the permissions to perform certain tasks or at Azure subscription level. Okay, so for simplicity, just ensure that it is nothing but the service account, and it has the permissions to perform certain task at Azure subscription level. Modify, create, delete Azure resources. Okay, so here I'll just list down which one I should be using. So this is the one I created. Letter type, in the next stage you'll just type in what kind of scripts you wanted to run. I have a shell script. uh, do you want to, so if you it is a longer script or bigger script, you can just provide a path here, or um, or it is small script, just like the one that I have, a couple of lines, right? 10, 15 lines, 20 lines, you can just type in here. Okay, and that's it, and you save it, and then it will be done. Same thing you'll be doing, you can do it in stage number 2. So just for this demo, I already created this pipeline, so we'll run it. I'll show you this one first, and then we'll run it. So see, the one that I created the task here is the one first task, and then there is a command here, inline script, shell scripts, right? And this is the account that I'm using. That's it. You can name it whatever you want. This is what I have named. I think I migrated. That's the reason this is the name. and then second is this one. So the first stage can be automated, and second, say if you wanted to do CI/CD, so first would be building the application, second would be getting the artifact and deploying into the dev, and third would be doing the deploying the same application in UAT if you are satisfied with the dev results. So that also can be done. So let's just create a release here. So when I create a release, if you see, both the stages will automatically trigger. However, in our case, what we are trying to do, we are trying to create an environment in dev, and then we are trying to delete that same environment. So I wanted to show you what we have created. So I will not be automating the delete stage of this pipeline. So as soon as this environment creation is provisioned, I'll show you on the portal what we have created, and then we'll trigger this deploy provisioning, delete the provisioning resources. So that way you'll get a complete picture of it. So this release has been created. If you wanted to go and see what it is doing, you can click on the release 6. Okay, it is now queued. So this is again one of the problem when you use these Microsoft hosted agents, because those are the free agents and many people are using across the globe. So you might have to wait for certain times before, so that your jobs or your stage can be queued. However, if you wanted to avoid the situations, you would have a ability to provision these agents in your own subscription. So it will be dedicated build agents that you would be using to host this or run these jobs. I'll show you how you can connect those your own agents and what it takes to do that. Okay, so now it is the infrastructure provision is happening. I'll quickly show you. So if I refresh this page, we don't have any resource group names with my resource group 5 and 4 and 5 which we are creating. Okay, so at the end of, so now this is just completed the run. Okay, so let's see what it says. Okay, it is completed and there is no error. If we go back to the portal now, we should be seeing the two RG. Yeah, so my RG5 and 4, this two RG has been created just now. Okay, and I think this is the old run. Okay, this is the first one. Okay, let me delete this one. Okay, if I go and see the logs of it, so you'll be able to see the resource group 4 and resource group 5 has been created, provision state success. Okay, so that means this run has been completed. So now say the first stage of your pipeline has completed, so which is release 6, and now we wanted to deploy this just to ensure that the resources which we created is getting deleted. Okay, so um, while this is running, um, uh, we can quickly talk about self-hosted agents, which help you to keep whatever tools that you need uh, on your self-hosted VMs. Um, you can also run the long-running jobs there. You don't need to wait uh, for your jobs to be queued. um, yeah, so these are the few benefits of self-hosted agents. It also comes with some cost, because you will be running your own VM, so VM running cost will be there. So now you see the second stage of the release pipeline has been triggered. Well, this is running. If you go back on Azure and see, this resource group 4 and 5 is still there. Okay, so I still see. Okay, so now see, this is started deleting. If you see, if I go back to the pipeline, it is still in running stage. As soon as it gets the pipeline gets 200, it will move to the next deletion. So now this is already started deleting. If I go back to the main view of the Azure portal and refresh it, I might okay, if I open it there, so 4, it is still deleting. And just FYI, it is there is lag. So as soon as some action has been completed from your stage, right, your task, it usually takes 5-10 seconds to update on the portal. So if you are building application or building a scripts, say uh, create a VMs, attach a disk, and all sort of things. So um, it is wise to add a couple of seconds delay in second task. If the second task it depend on the first item to be available. So if you are creating a VM and adding a data disk, as soon as the VM is created, uh, you can either check the status whether the VM is ready, and then perform a second task saying add a data disk to that VM. Else um, it may happen that just before the VM get created, your second action will start executing, and then it might not found the VM, and it may error out. So now as the second stage is completed, second stage is still running. However, the resource group 4 has been deleted. Now it is deleting the fifth one. So it is also deleted that fifth one as well. So if I see where we stand with that, still running, but you get the gist of it. It is deleted. It just not refresh. It may take uh, 5-10 seconds to reflect that change. So this is I think very UI friendly. This stage has been completed here as well. So what we have done, we have created a certain task in first stage one, created the infrastructure, and in second stage we have deleted it. So you can see you can visualize that you're creating the infrastructure, deploying the infrastructure, and then at the end deleting or moving it to the next environment as you need. So this is very UI friendly. However, if you wanted to uh, share this pipeline with some other teams, say someone is also doing the similar task, you have very limited options to share it, and not one click deployment. So say someone in another team wanted to use your pipeline, they cannot simply import and export, right? And even if you wanted to version control this pipeline, you cannot do it because it is not at a code level. And if you wanted to add deployment groups and many other features offered by Azure, which is really not options in release pipelines. So that's the reason um, Microsoft also recommending, and people are also moving out of release based pipeline to YAML based pipeline, which is the first option of it. So here it is just pipeline as a code. If I go in the repo, and if you see this ADO pipeline, right? So this is my pipeline. If I want to do any changes here, I just do the changes here, and nothing much. Okay. So all my scripts, this is my pipeline, and then it is calling some CLI file to execute it. Okay. Now I'll quickly touch upon the YAML based pipeline. Again, it is doing the same thing, but just in a YAML way of doing it. So if you so now it has the same thing. It is creating the those two RG and then deleting this two RG. Same thing, just um, release versus YAML based pipeline. I think there is there are a few tools available if you wanted to migrate from release to YAML, but these are not very straightforward options. Okay, you need to export and do import, and if you have some JSON jobs, they might need some rework. Um, Not a straightforward, but there is an option to convert it. Many other options available in pipelines. Take an example. You have three groups, three environments: dev, UAT, and prod. And you have a same code to create a VM. Same SKUs, everything same. You want to deploy in UAT, dev, UAT, and prod. So that way, you don't get complaints saying you have a different VM in your dev, which is working, versus UAT. I don't see my code is working, right? So you will create a environment based variables here, say, and link that specific environment based groups to your pipeline at stage level. So for dev stage, you would use the dev variable group. So when you run the dev stage, if you have a different variable, say subscription name is different, resource group name is different, so those can be, vnet is different, subnet is different, right? So those will be added more in the library groups, so that single pipeline, single code get deployed across all the environment. So this is the one of the feature. All right, so this is what I wanted to touch upon quickly. You can and then one more thing here as part of demo is, the service connection I wanted to show. So this service connection that you see here is nothing but the user account, SPN, service principal, which is created in Azure. User account linked to the AAD, and that user account has a permission to perform a certain task at the subscription level, and that account I have added here in ADO, just like this. If you want I have some account, say if I go to the Azure Active Directory here, well, this is loading. Okay, so I'll create a, come on. So I'll create a SPN. Okay, so I can create a create a user account in AAD, assign that user some permissions to perform certain tasks at the resource group level or subscription level, and then come here, create a resource manager template. Uh, Select this option here because you are using the ARM. If you have a Docker, same thing you can do. If you wanted to pull images from the Docker hub, you can create a Docker registry, and similar for many other tools. So if you wanted to integrate with the Jenkins, Maven, some other Docker hub, you can do it from this template. I'll just here I'll just put manual, which is what is my cloud environment. It is uh, public cloud, China, government, all sort of things. Select it. What is the scope of this access? Subscription level, management group level, or what? I'll put the subscription name here, the ID here, say whatever subscription name. Service principal ID, which is nothing but the user ID, and then user password here, and then tenant. Okay, these are the some metadata. uh, Save it, and then then once it is there, it will start showing up on the pipelines script whenever you wanted to um, build the new pipeline. See this one here on the page, it will start coming up here. I think these are the two more I created long back. No, this has subscriptions. This is the account that I have. If you have multiple accounts, say one for the 544 and one for this one, so you would see one more account here which is linked to this subscription. So that's the identity part of it. Then you can add a few more user account security related settings as a best practices. Okay, so now we'll go back to the PPT. I think we did here. All right. So I think as of now, for now, you know why we need DevOps, what value it really adds, and what are the key component of Azure DevOps. Yeah, and also what are the how do we get started on Azure DevOps. Yeah, so if you wanted to go and start exploring this path, you have a couple of options. First stage is to get familiar with Azure with AZ 700, which is not mandatory, but I would recommend. If not, then go for if you are part of system engineering or operation part of it or infrastructure part of it, then go for the first certification, Microsoft Certified Azure Administrator Associates exam. Take that exam, or if you are more on a dev part, go for the Azure Developer Associate exam. So either of is good. Once we have this exam, you can go for the expert level certification, that is Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer Expert. This certification would um, just not focus on the couple of points that we discussed, but it will also deep dive on many theories, why DevOps people, how the how do we solve the application delivery issues, how do we speed up the uh, these things, how YAML pipeline would uh, come to your rescue for porting the pipelines, and then few points on CLIs and ARMs as well. So that's thing. That's the how do we get on it. The last stage, last PPT of the session is if you wanted to learn more about Azure DevOps, um, please explore the Microsoft technical documentation and Azure DevOps documentation as well. You can create a sample project. You can create a sample organization, create a project, and link it, and then start exploring these two pipelines from starting from the release or YAML. um, Explore how does the flow of Azure DevOps board works. Even if you happen to not to use the boards in your next job or first job, you would be happy to understand. You'll be happy to see that same theory will apply to many other tool that you would be using. Let me take an example of Atlassian Jira or say ServiceNow or some other tools. So this is same concept. So explore that Azure boards, uh, Azure pipelines and repo. Definitely you would be using it, and so there is no surprise there. Apart from that, if you have any questions related to pipelines, security, part of it, or anything on Azure DevOps, stay connected. Send a request to LinkedIn on this ID. Ping me. I'll be happy to jump on and see how I can help you with. So thank you for joining. Over to you, Varun.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for coming here on the weekend and spending your time for the community and the students. We really admire you, and I hope that your immense knowledge and experience which you have shared would have been really grateful for all of us, and looking forward to host many more such insightful sessions with you. Thank you very much, sir.
Sh- Sure. Any questions, Varun? Or we're good?
No, sir. As of now, we don't have the questions, but surely if there will be any questions, we will redirect them to your, LinkedIn account or something.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.